Oh, that's very hot. How's it going, my G's? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to show you a little vital tom fill that I've made for you guys today. And yeah, you can also go ahead and download it as a free preset below. I've not been 100% happy with it yet, but it's kind of my first go at trying to make some toms in Vital, and I've made a little fill, and so I thought I'd just give it away to you guys. Also, if you're new to the channel, as you know, hit the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate that. And also, while you're down there, check out the links to my preset packs, my Patreon with a really cool Discord community, and take advantage of my one-on-one tuition. There's links for that down there as well. Now, let's get into this little loop. Let's just play out the whole loop, and the sound I've used in it is from yesterday's video, the Flange Records bass. So nice little toms here, and although they're not 100% perfectly natural sounding, I was kind of just guessing with how you would make them with no real idea of what I was doing. So we start off with a simple sine wave, and I've got a number of LFOs here, and so my LFO 1 is doing the whole volume of the sound. So I've tracked this to the level of the oscillator here, down here, and I've put it to 1/4 notes triplets. So it's doing a kind of offbeat pattern. Then on my second LFO here, I've done the same speed pattern. So it's going to happen every time the tom hits. But this one is a lot of a tighter kind of curve. And this is tracked to the pitch. And so if you look up here, oscillator 1 transpose. And I've put it up to 24. So you can just right click, enter value 24. So it starts up 24 semitones higher and comes down nice and quickly. So that's kind of what's doing that. And then I've got an LFO 3 which is tracked to the pitch of the entire Vital patch. So if I go to the advanced section here and the transpose here, I've just put the LFO 3 up 3 semitones. So it starts up 3 semitones and goes down over the course of half a bar. So you can kind of hear it just pitching down nicely. And there's one more modulation, which is the LFO 4. And this one is, I can't remember what this one's doing. Oh, this one is just tracked to my filter mix here. Because I wanted to control, I think, is it on this filter actually? Sorry about this. Yeah, it's here. So at the end of my effects, we'll get into that later, but I basically just control the volume again. So I have LFO 1 doing the main volume, and then I'm just shaping the volume once more using the LFO 4 just to make the toms a little bit tighter. So let's go more into the sound design and the voicing then. So once we've got our first sine wave in here, I've then added a sample of white noise just to give a little kind of transient hit on the sound, and it's got some FM sample here. This is just going on our LFO 1. And similarly, there's a little bit of volume automation on the actual white noise itself as well on LFO 1. Now to get some more harmonics into the sound, I've opened oscillator 2 and pitched this one down a little bit further, but I've frequency modulated it from the oscillator 1. So if I was to take that off, it would just be very, very subby. But putting this on, yeah, it seems a little bit more kind of a higher pitched kind of tom sound, and you can just kind of blend this around. Sounds pretty nice around there. And again, it's going through the same modulation, so it's going up 24 semitones on our kind of quick pitch down LFO, and it's also being tracked to the LFO 1 for the overall volume. And that's pretty much the only voices that I've used. And then I've also added this filter in here. And if I were to turn this up all the way, it kind of just boosts the mid-range of the tom, giving it that kind of feeling quite a lot. So what I did is I mixed it back down and put this on the LFO 2 as well, which is my tight, quick, kind of pitched LFO. That sounds pretty nice around there. So yeah, pretty happy with that so far. So let's move over to the effects now. And the first thing is a little bit of a compressor. It just kind of yeah, in this case, I don't know, it gives a little bit more low end into it, but it keeps the high end kind of sounding in the same kind of the same way. It just feels like a little bit more of a bassy tom. Now, distortion, this is obviously quite an important part. And when I was designing the sound, I actually started with the drive up and sort of worked backwards from there. Because you can really hear like the differences that it makes when you drive it so hard. You know, it's better to start with it on sometimes. But yeah, it's sounding pretty nice around there. Then, like I said, I added this filter, which was primarily to control the volume again, because if you kind of see what I've got when the mix is turned all the way up, if I can just so it's basically filtered every frequency out apart from this very, very low part, but you can't really hear that. And so if I turn this back on, what I'm basically doing is just dropping out the whole volume, but just using the filter as like a volume shaper. And the reason I did it is I wanted to get an extra level of control of the whole volume of the tom. So on the LFO4, I've designed a similar pattern to the LFO1, which is the main volume, but I've just kind of made it a little bit tighter here. And so there's just sort of two layers to the volume shaping of the sound, so you can be a bit more precise. And then I've just boosted the low end a bit. And finally, reverb is always great on toms. And this is quite a subtle amount of reverb, but you could go a bit heavier with it, I suppose. So why don't we make a quick little macro where we can make the toms a little bit heavier in reverb. So we can maybe just boost up the size a little bit, maybe the time as well slightly, and the mix. Because yeah, big toms, Phil Collins style, you know, you can't really go wrong with that. So if I just have that on there. So yeah, let's try it in the mix. Just going to use a subtle amount, I think, for this time. But that's pretty much all I've done for the effects then. And yeah, like I said, it's a free preset available down below. And the reason why it's free is because I love you. Now, also, I'm not like 100% happy with this tom fill yet, but I think I've made a good start on it. So why don't you guys see if you can use it and improve it? Let me know in the comments if you think it's useful. Let me know what other sounds you want me to create that's not just neurofunk basses, because I've probably made about 257 of those already. Yeah, let me know down below what I should do next. I'm sometimes lacking a little bit of inspiration of what sound to make, because I want to kind of stretch or improve my sound design skills, and I'd love for you guys to be a part of that and chip in, and always read your comments, and I'll, you know, if something really inspires me, I will definitely make a video about that. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day. Peace.